Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Hopeful Chewbacca back at the Church of Chewbacca, and today we're going to wrap up the Face of the Franchise ranking series for the Team Affinity cards that you can unlock with a top 10 ranking of all of the cards. With that being said, the criteria for the ranking system is going to be the player attributes, position flexibility, whether or not they have a glitchy swing or windup. Glitchy swing obviously pertains to position players. Windup pertains to pitchers, as well as there's going to be a comparison of other cards within, not only just within these 30 Face of the Franchise cards, but also other cards in the game of why these cards rank where they rank. With that being said, let's get started. First, we're going to go over 3 honorable mentions that didn't quite make the top 10, but I think are great players that can be used in your lineup for different circumstances within the game. First in the honorable mentions is Byron Buxton, the center fielder for the Minnesota Twins. We reviewed his card whenever we went over the AL Central. With that being said, I mentioned in there how he's a great defensive outfielder, can play all 3 positions in the outfield, and I personally like this card on some people's benches for a late defensive sub or if you need a pinch runner. He's pretty versatile in those 2 circumstances. We'll look at his quirks real quick. He has soft hands, quick reflexes, cannon, speedster, thief, and bunt master, which tie in really well into being that late defensive sub for the outfield if you need a faster outfielder out there or somebody that you might need to pinch run to steal a base. I think he's a great guy to have on your bench. He's not going to give you too much with the stick. However, defensively, running the base pass, great guy pickup. That's why he's on the honorable mention list. The second honorable mention is Charlie Blackmon, the right fielder for the Colorado Rockies, can also play the other 2 outfield positions. As you can see, he has diamond hitting and not really great defense. He's not the fastest runner. But that being said, Charlie Blackmon has one of the glitchiest swings in the game, and he has great hitting attributes, as you can see with the 199 contact versus righty and lefty respectively, with almost 80-plus power from each side of pitching. With 80 vision, he's just going to be a great card to have on your bench for a great bench bat. And I think he's somebody that you could pick up and maybe put in left field if you don't have the best outfield right now as a starter. However, I just think there's some better options with these Face of the Franchise cards that I would go with over Charlie Blackmon. But I do think this is a guy you should have on your roster as a bench bat. And maybe if you're struggling with somebody else's swing in the outfield, maybe you can change him out, give him a couple games, and go back to the player that might be better on this Face of the Franchise list. Take a quick look at his quirks. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, and pressure cooker. He obviously has the 2 hitting quirks that matter for getting base hits and hitting home runs. I just really think he's a great bat off the bench. That being said, that's why Blackmon comes in on this honorable mention list. The third card on this honorable mention list is Yoan Moncada. He's a third baseman for the Chicago White Sox. He can also play first base and second base, has diamond hitting and gold defense. I just think that Moncada comes on this list because he's a really glitchy swing, and maybe if you don't hit well with some of the other guys on this top 10 list, he could be a good replacement for one of the third basemen or second basemen you might see on this list that's coming up. And he also crushes right-handed pitching. He's a switch hitter, so you always are going to have a good lefty versus righty matchup or righty versus lefty matchup, which I think is very favorable when batting in this game. He also has pretty decent defense with his 75 fielding, 71 reaction, and 86 arm strength. That being said, I think this is a very well-rounded card with a very glitchy swing, so that just makes him play a little bit above his attributes for hitting, and he has decent defense. Can play 3 of the 4 positions in the infield. We'll look at his quirks real quick. He only has hitting machine, which is kind of the downside of this card, that he doesn't have a lot of quirks, which is one of the reasons why he doesn't make the top 10 of this list. However, I thought that he deserved an honorable mention because if you're struggling with one of the other infielders that are mentioned, you could possibly try this Yoan Moncada. That being said, Moncada comes in as the last spot on the honorable mentions list for this top 10 video. Now, guys, with the honorable mentions being out of the way, let's move on to what everyone came here for, the top 10. So coming in at number 10, we have Carlos Correa, the shortstop from the Houston Astros. He can play second base and third base as well. I mean, everyone get their trash cans ready, boys. We're banging on him because he crushes the ball. He's a really good card coming in at number 10. He has diamond hitting and diamond defense. The reason he's number 10 on this list and not higher on the list doesn't so much have to do with his attributes. As you can see, his attributes are pretty amazing. 76 contact versus righty, 99 contact versus lefty, 95 power versus righty, 75 power versus lefty with 67 vision, and a high 92 discipline. His defense has good fielding, great, pretty decent reaction at 74, and 97 arm strength, which is ridiculous, which makes him kind of in a good spot to play shortstop if he gets deep in the hole. Still has a strong enough arm to throw a guy out, as well as third base with 63 speed. However, that being said, I just feel like there's better cards that you can play at the shortstop, second base, and third base positions that are in these face of the franchise. That's why Carlos Correa comes in at number 10. Let's look at his quirks real quick. Hitting machine, bomber, walker, cannon, sniper, pressure cooker. That check swing, walker, as well as bomber and hitting machine are definitely great quirks to have for hitters. The cannon and sniper is going to allow him to have that big cannon arm that's accurate in the field. I just think there's better options for this if he's going to play shortstop, second base, or third base in the top 10 for the face of the franchise. With that being said, Carlos Correa comes in at number 10 in the top 10 list. So coming in at number 9, we have the first baseman, Carlos Santana of the Cleveland Indians. He can also play catcher and third base. He has diamond hitting, bronze defense. His hitting attributes are very good. 70 contact versus righties, 96 contact versus lefties, with 83 power, at 86 vision, 108 discipline. He's just going to be a great hitter for you. He only has bronze fielding, with 76 fielding and 74 reaction. At first base, that's wonderful. What I really think pushes this card into the top 10 and makes him a great pickup for any team is he can also play catcher. At third base, I think with his arm strength, you kind of get hurt a little bit at third base. Maybe a little bit at catcher if a lot of guys are trying to steal on you. However, with his hitting, I don't think there's another catcher in the game right now, except for maybe the 99 overall Buster Posey that has the hitting stats you could have with Carlos Santana as playing him at catcher. The reason he's not higher on the list is because there are better first basemen in the face of the franchise that I would take over him for the primary position. Although him being able to play catcher makes him a very valuable card that I'd consider putting him a catcher and see how he plays for you. Defensively, he might be a little bit of a letdown, but I can only think of another card. But unless you have the Craig Biggio on your team or the Buster Posey, I think Carlos Santana would be the next best catching option you could have. His quirks are bomber, 20/20 vision, walker, and unbreakable. He has that walker quirk, which I think is one of the best quirks in the game. He also has bomber, so he's going to excel at hitting home runs. With the flexibility of being able to play catcher as well as a very good hitter, and he's also a switch hitter. I didn't mention that earlier in the video, but that's also very important that he is a switch hitter, and so he's always going to get that good lefty-righty matchup or righty-lefty matchup when he's batting. So with being a switch hitter, being able to play catcher, and his great hitting attributes, I just think that this is a good card to have, and that's why Carlos Santana of the Cleveland Indians comes in at number 9 on this top 10 list. So coming in at number 8, we have the right fielder for the Texas Rangers, Joey Gallo. He can also play first base, third base, left field, and center field. He has gold hitting and diamond defense. So with this Joey Gallo card is the reason he's at number 8 and not higher on the list, and I get it, everyone crushes the ball whenever you get contact with Joey Gallo, is if you're playing on higher difficulties with this card, such as Hall of Fame or Legend, his 28 vision with his low contact just does not cut it. Like if you go play with him in the event, there's a Hall of Fame event going on right now, or any Hall of Fame event where you can use him in the future, or you make it up into the 700s plus in ranked seasons, that 28 vision just does not handle well for the pitch speeds for how small his PCI is. That is the biggest downside of this card, to get that out of the way. Now let's talk about the positives to this card and what makes him in the top 10 for these face of the franchise cards. With his power at 112 versus righties and 114 versus lefties is absolutely ridiculous. It's one of the highest powers in the game right now, and he does have 108 discipline, so you can actually get pretty decent check swings from this Joey Gallo card with a lot of pop. Also, fielding-wise, he can literally play 5 positions on the field and still has at least gold level fielding, if not diamond level fielding. With 86 fielding and 85 reaction, he can play either third base on the hot corner, or he can play first base, as well as he has a huge arm. With 99 arm strength and 97 accuracy, he's going to throw dudes out from the outfield. He's going to make big plays at third base with his arm. He also has 64 speed, which actually makes him a little bit faster than you would think, especially with the 85 reaction. With that being said, let's look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are banger, walker, quick reflexes, cannon, and sniper. The quick reflexes really helps with him playing third base or first base as well as in the outfield. Obviously, the walker and bomber allow for the check swings, and obviously he should have bomber. The dude has at least 112 power from minimum when he's facing righties and 114 versus lefties. So of course he's going to have the bomber quirk. He has to. With that being said, this Joey Gallo does come in at number 8 on the list. However, if you are playing below Hall of Fame pitch speeds, I think Joey Gallo's in the top 5 on this list. However, I base this list off of using the card in every mode and in every situation. So that being said, with his low vision and low contact, he's just not a usable card at higher difficulties or in higher ranked seasons. There's just better options in the outfield than he is. However, that being said, if you're not in the 700s or higher in ranked seasons, this Joey Gallo will be a top 5 card. So coming in at number 7, we have the first pitcher on our top 10 list. The starting pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, Blake Snell. He's a left-handed pitcher, also bats left-handed. He has a 4-pitch repertoire that is a 4-seam fastball, a curveball, a changeup, and a slider. His 4-seam fastball absolutely blazes. It can touch 100 miles an hour. Every once in a while, you're going to more get 99 to 98 out of it. Sometimes it'll drop down to 95, depending on how tired he is and whatnot. With that being said, he has 3 great change of pace pitches with his curveball only coming in at 81 miles an hour. That's a huge over 20 miles an hour difference, and it's a big loopy curveball, more like a 12-6 than a traditional curveball. He also has a pretty slow changeup that has a big difference in pitch speed as well. He also throws a slider, 87 mile per hour slider with a lot of movement. So his 3 off-speed pitches have movement. His fastball is blazing fast. The biggest thing I can say about this Blake Snell card is his windup. His card, it's so hard to read the ball out of his hand when he throws it that 97, 98 mile per hour fastball I think comes in more around 100 miles an hour just because it's hard to read off his hand. That being said, let's do a quick review of his attributes. He has 88 stamina, so he's going to go pretty deep into games, give you about 88 pitches before he starts to fatigue. His per 9s are pretty good with 88 hit per 9, 100 K per 9, 63 base on balls per 9, and 74 home runs per 9. So he shouldn't give up too many dingers. He shouldn't give up too many hits. He does struggle a little bit with 52 control and that 63 base on balls, so there is a chance he's going to walk quite a few people. But for the nasty stuff that he does have, I think this card's worth picking up and being somewhere in your rotation. At this point in the game, a lot of people do have that Corey Kluber 99 Cy Young card, as well as the Signature Series Hall Newhouser. So Snell might be somewhere at the bottom of your rotation. However, Blake Snell should be in your rotation at some point right now in this game. He just has filthy stuff, and he's a free card you can pick up. And I just think he's wonderful to pitch with. Even though he has that low control numbers, I haven't had trouble hitting my spots with him. Stingy, untouchable, grounded, knee buckler. So with the stingy and grounded, he's not going to let up a lot of base hits. He's not going to let up a lot of home runs. The knee buckler is going to help with them off-speed stuff. With that being said, the quick review of his quirks and his amazing attributes with his glitchy delivery, Blake Snell comes in at number 7 on this top 10 list. So coming in at number 6, we have the second baseman from the Atlanta Braves, Ozzie Albies. He can also play shortstop as a secondary position. He's a switch hitter that throws right-handed, has diamond hitting, gold defense. We'll look at his diamond hitting attributes real quick. 71 contact versus righties, 114 contact versus lefties, with 62 power versus righties, 83 power versus lefties, and 87 vision. Now, Albies maybe doesn't have the best stats against righties. However, for me, personally, he mashes the ball against right-handed pitching anyway, because he does have a glitchier swing. I find it really easy to drive the ball with him. I will say the biggest downside when I am hitting with him against righties is he doesn't have maybe enough power to go yard every time, so I do get some good lineouts or good deep fly balls where maybe they'd be a home run with somebody else with a little bit more power. But I'd rather get a guy that's squaring everything up, because at least 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4 times you hit the ball, he's going to get a base hit for you if you're squaring the ball up, because his swing's nice, his PCI is nice and juicy. That being said, I really like his swing. I really like the way this card hits, and he obviously just mutilates left-handed pitching to the point where whenever I'm facing a lefty with Albies and anybody realizes it's the face of the franchise Albies, there's people that pitch around him as if he's Babe Ruth. It's ridiculous. He draws a lot of walks for me against the lefties, and I love it. With that being said, we're going to look at his fielding real quick. 87 fielding, 54 arm strength, 92 throw accuracy, 83 reaction with 73 speed. I would not recommend playing this card at shortstop, only at second base. He just doesn't have the arm strength to play shortstop if he gets deep into the hole. But he does have enough arm strength to play second base. He makes all the routine plays. He even makes some plays that you wouldn't think your second baseman makes compared to some other people I've had at second base. With that being said, let's look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are 20/20 vision, sniper, pressure cooker, and unbreakable. He doesn't really have the best quirks for hitting or for fielding. However, the quirks don't matter in this card with his glitchy swing and his attributes, and just the ability to probably be the best option at second base in these face of the franchise cards. With that being said, Ozzie Albies comes in at number 6 on this top 10 list. So squeezing into the top 5, we have the starting pitcher from the Los Angeles Angels, Shohei Otani. So he's a left-handed batter with right-handed throwing. He has a 4-pitch repertoire, and he has a 4-seam fastball, a slider, a splitter, and a curveball. So this Shohei Otani is going to hit at 100 miles an hour on a regular basis with his 4-seam fastball. As you can see, it says 98 miles per hour, but that's like the average if you're not really going to try to throw the ball hard. When you try to throw hard, he'll actually maybe sometimes touch 101. With that being said, he has a slider and curveball that are just ridiculous off-speed options with the change of pace. The slider's a nice big loopy, big breaking slider that moves, has right to left movement with some downward movement. The curveball is more like a 12-6 curveball than a traditional curveball. It only comes in at 74 miles an hour. So you're looking at that big loopy. The best comparison I can say to it is kind of like Eric Gagne's 12-6 over the top curveball, or Clayton Kershaw's curveball from last year, that 12-6. That's kind of how his curveball is. There's a little bit more sideways movement right to left, but it's pretty much that pitch. The splitter in this case doesn't actually have that much movement, and it's kind of a disappointing pitch. I try to not throw it unless you're just trying to throw it more as a changeup, because it actually doesn't have a lot of drop on it compared to some other guys' splitters within the game. So let's look at his attributes real quick. 88 stamina, so he's going to give you about 88 pitches before he starts to fatigue out. He's going to give you, his per nines are 84 hits per 9, 94 K per 9, 63 base on balls per 9, 60 home run per 9, with 66 control. He does have 95 velocity and 99 break, so his pitchers are going to have a lot of break on them. Comparing this to the Blake Snell card and why Otani gets the 5th spot here and Snell gets the 7th spot, is I think that Otani's pitch repertoire is a little bit better than Snell's is, as well as this. Otani can hit. I mean, you're getting an extra hitter whenever you pitch Otani. 86 contact versus righty, 74 contact versus lefty, 87 power versus righty, 56 power versus lefties. And he gives you an extra bat, which gives him the nod over Snell on this list. I mean, that's really the biggest separation, other than Otani throws right-handed and Snell throws left-handed. Snell does have a little bit better pitching attributes. However, I think Otani's pitch repertoire is better than Snell, as well as he's a hitter. Let's look at those quirks real quick. Cannon, stingy, untouchable, cheesy, knee buckler. Obviously, he has a stingy for base hits, and he has the cheesy knee buckler to help his fastball and his breaking ball. Shohei Otani, the starting pitcher for the Angels, comes in at number 5 on this top 10 list. So coming in at number 4, we have the Oakland Athletics first baseman Matt Olson. He's a left-handed batter that throws right-handed. He has a secondary position of right field. He has diamond hitting, gold defense. Take a quick look at his attributes. 82 contact versus righty, 57 contact versus lefty, 104 power versus righty, 90 power versus lefties, 58 vision with 82 discipline. I personally think right now in the game, Matt Olson is the best option anybody could have at first base. For whatever reason, with his swing, it's very smooth, pretty glitchy. He absolutely crushes the ball. I know there's some other people that have said this as well, that he's the best first baseman in the game. I just think everything he hits, he just hits it hard. So if you're good at placing the PCI on the ball and you get a good swing, a good time swing, he's going to hit it hard somewhere. Also, at first base, his fielding is amazing. 95 fielding, 94 reaction. He's a vacuum cleaner over there. The dude doesn't let anything by him. He makes diving plays. His only downside is he can't really throw the ball that well, but he plays first base. Do you really need a first baseman that throws the ball well? You're not. I would never recommend putting him in right field. He's the best defensive first baseman in this game right now, and he makes all of the plays. It's absolutely ridiculous. I didn't even think that first base was that important defensively until I picked up this Matt Olson. He just an absolute Hoover over there. You might as well name him Matt Hoover Olson. It's ridiculous. Let's look at his quirks real quick. Bomber, soft hands, quick reflexes. So he's going to give you them home runs with the bomber. The soft hands and quick reflexes, I think, are what makes him field the ball so well at first base. But it's absolutely ridiculous. You guys will be super satisfied with his defensive play at first base. I don't think there's another guy that's even close to touching him at first base defensively right now. Along with his pop and power, it's everything you could ask for in a first baseman. He's also 6'5", 230 pounds. You guys remember that Frank Thomas last year, right? Where Frank the Tank was just clogging up first base. Well, imagine if Frank the Tank clogged up first base and he could catch. Oh, wait. That's just Matt Olson this year. Except he's a left-handed batter, not right-handed batter. That being said, Matt Olson comes in at number 4 on this top 10 list. So coming in at number 3, we have the left fielder from the Washington Nationals, Juan Soto. He can also play center field and right field. He's a left-handed batter, left-handed throwing. He has diamond hitting and bronze defense. For his hitting, his attributes are 90 contact versus righty, 88 contact versus lefty, 100 power versus righty, 77 power versus lefty, 70 vision with 116 discipline. His fielding is pretty well rounded. You're going to get just a little bit, I think, above bronze fielding for him. 70 fielding, 71 arm strength, 56 accuracy, 64 reaction, and 63 speed. I think defensively, if you're playing him in left field, these defensive numbers don't take away from the fact he absolutely rakes. He has a great smooth swing that seems to really drive the ball and put it up in the air. So with those power numbers, you're going to get a lot of home runs from this Soto. I just think with the glitchy swing and the fact that he absolutely crushes right-handed pitching and hits left-handed pitching pretty much just as well as right-handed pitching with the 70-plus vision and great discipline. Hitting-wise, this should be one of your go-to left-handed bats in your lineup. And with the fielding and playing left field, I don't think it's that big of a deal that his fielding is only a bronze. Let's look at his quirks real quick. His quirks are hitting machine, bomber, and walker. So he has those 3 big-time quirks that I really like for hitters with the hitting machine, bomber, and walker. He's going to give you those check swings, those big daddy hack bombs. He's going to give you some base hits. I just think this Juan Soto card is very well balanced. He's going to have a big PCI even on harder difficulties. And I just really feel like he's your best option in the outfield and in the corner outfields if you don't have some of the other big name live series guy. But for face of the franchise cards, I think he's definitely going to be your best option in the corner outfield positions. With that being said, Juan Soto comes in at number 3 on this top 10 list. So coming in at number 2, we have the shortstop from the New York Yankees, Gleyber Torres. He can also play second base and third base. Right-handed batter, right-handed thrower. He has diamond hitting and silver defense. You can see his hitting is 84 contact versus righty, 85 contact versus lefty, 93 power versus righty, 96 power versus lefty with 70 vision and 73 discipline. For his fielding, he has 72 fielding, 81 arm strength, 65 arm accuracy, 78 reaction with 45 speed. Now, for the Gleyber Torres, the reason he comes in at number 2 and actually for me doesn't take the number 1 spot is he really isn't the best option at his primary position when you come to these face of the franchise cards. I actually would play Carlos Correa over him at shortstop just because he just doesn't have the speed and range, I think, to play shortstop. That being said, I really do think as a third baseman on this list that he's your best option at third base in these face of the franchise cards. I wish his primary position was third base, so he didn't take a little bit of a decline for his fielding and when it comes to playing third base. However, with the huge arm and his reaction, he just makes ridiculous plays over there. From playing with him for maybe 50 games now, I just think that his reaction at third base and the way he plays is way above his attributes defensively. And for hitting, he absolutely rakes the ball. I mean, 84 plus each side contact plus that 93 plus power means when he gets contact on the ball with a pretty decent sized PCI, he absolutely mashes it, hits it hard, just big old daddy hacks up there at the plate. I just love hitting with this card, and that's one of the reasons why he's so high up on this list. We'll look at his quirks real quick. Their hitting machine, bomber, pressure cooker. The hitting machine and bomber just really truly play into this card. Just him being absolute masher at the plate. I just think that this card overall is one of the best cards you can get in the game right now. Absolutely free, a great face of the franchise card. Probably the biggest downside for me is that he's a New York Yankee, if we're being honest, around these parts. But with his bat, dude, it's just absolutely amazing. And he plays defensively above his attributes, especially with that big arm. With that being said, Gleyber Torres of the New York Yankees comes in at number 2 on the top 10 list. So the man on the mountain right now, the guy that's number 1 on this list from the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr., the shortstop. He bats right-handed, throws right-handed. He has secondary positions at second base and third base. He has diamond hitting and diamond defense. His hitting attributes are 87 contact versus righties, 90 contact versus lefties, 85 power versus righties, 79 power versus lefties, with 47 vision and 71 discipline. In the field, he has 83 fielding with 95 arm strength, 60 accuracy, and 84 reaction, with 89 speed, only 36 stealing, which is unfortunate with the 89 speed, and he has 75 base running aggressiveness. This card plays absolutely filthy. Wait, I don't think there's a card I can mention that plays more above their attributes than this card does. He absolutely rakes for me. I think he's batting almost 400 on my team. He has good power and pop from against both-handed pitchers, as well as in the field. He's so fast and quick and has a huge arm that he can make all of the plays at shortstop. He literally gets his glove on almost everything. The only downside is his accuracy for throwing is maybe a little bit low. However, with button accuracy, if you're good with that, that doesn't really factor into the fact his throw accuracy at all, because that's a user input thing. He's never thrown a ball away for me, and he makes all of the big plays at shortstop. Just absolute cannon. Let's go look at his quirks real quick. Hitting machine, bomber, cannon, speedster, pressure cooker. So, it just goes right into his attributes. He hits the ball well. He hits the ball for a lot of power. Has an absolute cannon for an arm. And he's fast. Like, stupid fast. The pressure cooker obviously helps with runners in scoring position or guys on base. With that being said, this Fernando Tatis Jr. card is a card that's a must-have in anybody's team. Even if you have great infielders and maybe just need a bench player or you're struggling with somebody, look no further than this Fernando Tatis Jr. card. He is absolutely filthy, and that's why he ranks number 1 on this face of the franchise top 10. Alright guys, that wraps up our top 10 list, and I really appreciate you guys watching. I hope everyone has enjoyed the content, enjoys the top 10 list. You should leave a comment down below to let me know what you guys think of the top 10 list. Maybe you guys don't agree with everyone on the list. We can have a discussion about it. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys down in the comments section. Also, please hit the subscribe button on the video and give this video a thumbs up so I know that I'm doing a good job, as well as hit that bell so you get notifications whenever I produce more content, upload more videos. It lets you guys know whenever I'm doing that, as well as lets me know that I'm producing good content. Also, if you guys are enjoying the content, you guys can watch me live on twitch.tv/HopefulChewbacca. I stream Monday through Thursday, 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My schedule varies some depending on work, extracurricular activities, family, anything else that's going on in my personal life. However, if you'd like to know when I am going live on those days, because I do stream on those days from time to time, you can follow me on Twitter at Hopeful1137. As well as some people have been asking me what my PSN is. It is Hopeful1137 as well. You guys can also add me on PSN, send me a message, have a conversation with me on there. I'd be more than happy to help anybody out, give them any advice they might be looking for. That being said, guys, I really appreciate everyone watching. And you guys have a great day and be safe.